In 2012, a small team of students at Brown University started working on a crazy idea. What if you could design software directly in your browser, with no downloads, no files, and full collaboration in real time? Fast forward 10 years, and that crazy idea forced Adobe, one of the most powerful software companies on earth, to write a $20 billion check. This is the story of how Figma beat Adobe at its own game. No VC madness, no billion-dollar marketing spend. Just relentless product focus, timing, and community. Let's break down the design revolution. Chapter 1. Browser-native beginnings. The story begins with Dylan Field and Evan Wallace, two college students obsessed with graphics, design, and the future of the web. Evan was a computer graphics prodigy. Dylan was a Thiel fellow who dropped out of college with $100,000 in grant money to build something big. Their thesis, design tools were outdated relics. Photoshop was slow. Sketch was desktop-bound. Collaboration required saving files, exporting, and emailing. They imagined something different. A fully cloud-based design tool built for speed, simplicity, and teamwork that ran directly in your browser. In 2015, they launched the private beta of Figma, and designers were skeptical because Adobe had owned this space for decades. Chapter 2. The underdog versus the empire. Adobe had a stranglehold on the creative industry. From Photoshop to Illustrator to XD, it was the default. But the cracks were showing. Adobe XD, their response to modern interface design, felt like a clone of Sketch. It was late, clunky, and built on legacy architecture. Meanwhile, Figma was fast, lightweight, multiplayer. You could co-design live with teammates, leave comments, present prototypes, all in one tab. The experience was so smooth, it felt like Google Docs for designers. Early adopters fell in love, then they told their teams, and those teams told other teams. Chapter 3. Product-led growth. Figma didn't go viral because of ads. It grew because people used it, and couldn't go back. The sharing link feature alone drove explosive adoption. When a designer shared a file, the recipient had to sign up to view or edit it. That single mechanic brought in millions of new users with zero acquisition cost. In short, the product was the marketing. By 2019, Figma was quietly taking over design teams inside Microsoft, Uber, Twitter, and Dropbox. Adobe started to worry. What made this possible? Figma's technology stack was written in WebAssembly and used C++ with custom rendering libraries. Uncommon choices for a browser-based app, but essential for the performance and responsiveness they needed. Their design editor was so optimized, it could handle complex projects with the fluidity of a native app. It wasn't just about features, it was about feel. Chapter 4. Community Engine. Figma embraced a creator-first culture. They built a plugin system that let developers extend its functionality. They launched Figma Community, a public library of shared design systems, templates, and UI kits. It wasn't just a tool anymore. It was a movement. Designers were teaching Figma in boot camps. Agencies were switching entire workflows. YouTubers were creating Figma tutorials with millions of views. Figma's community became a flywheel. Creators built templates, users shared them. Teams adopted them. The ecosystem deepened. They even launched design events like Config, drawing thousands of product designers and developers from around the world. It was more than SaaS, it was becoming a culture. Chapter 5. The Power Moves. By 2021, Figma had reached $400 million in ARR. Its valuation skyrocketed to $10 billion, and Adobe knew it was losing the next generation. So they made the most expensive acquisition offer in their history, $20 billion to acquire Figma. Let that sink in. A browser-based startup founded by students forced a 40-year-old tech titan to surrender. The design world was stunned. But the offer wasn't just about eliminating a competitor. It was about acquiring the future. Figma wasn't just a product. It was a platform, a user base, and a brand that stood for openness and speed. Adobe had struggled to integrate collaborative workflows across its suite. Buying Figma meant leapfrogging 5 years of internal development. And Figma's leadership? They had leverage. Dylan Field negotiated from a position of strength. The company wasn't burning cash. It didn't need to be acquired, which meant Adobe had to pay a premium. Chapter 6. The Aftermath. The acquisition isn't complete. Regulators in the US, EU, and UK are still scrutinizing the deal. Why? Because this isn't just a merger. It's a consolidation of control over the global design ecosystem. Critics fear that Adobe might stifle Figma's innovation. Users worry about feature bloat, higher prices, and a shift toward enterprise-heavy integrations. But so far, Figma has remained independent. Field has repeatedly reassured the community that their values won't change. Still, the landscape is shifting. New tools like PenPot and Locify are emerging to fill the open and free niche in case Figma goes corporate. The story isn't over, but what's certain is this. Figma showed that browser-first software isn't a compromise. It's the future. Chapter 7. The Design Stack of Tomorrow. Figma's impact goes beyond design. Its API integrations, plugin ecosystem, and embeddable components hint at the future of cross-functional collaboration. PMs leaving comments directly inside prototypes. Engineers inspecting layout specs, live design systems updating across multiple products in real time. It's no longer about static files, it's about dynamic living systems. And this design as a platform approach inspired other tools like Notion, Webflow, and Framer to build with similar openness and modularity. Figma set the precedent that collaborative, cloud-native tools can beat legacy software in every way. Chapter 8. Dylan Field, the reluctant CEO. Dylan Field didn't set out to be a business mogul. He was a curious builder, more interested in user experience than enterprise deals. His leadership style reflected this: open, humble, relentlessly user-focused. Field has spoken openly about imposter syndrome, transparency, and the responsibility of building software that affects millions. He was 20 years old when he started Figma. By the time of Adobe's offer, he was running one of the most beloved design platforms in the world. His guiding principle? Make something people love. Everything else will follow. Final chapter. Lessons from Figma Build. Where legacy players can't make your product your marketing. Prioritize speed and collaboration. Create a movement, not just software. Keep your community close. Bet on the browser. It's where the world is going. Focus on real-time multiplayer experiences. Be radically transparent and open with your users. Solve for teams, not just individuals. Stay small, nimble, and obsessed with product quality. Figma didn't just beat Adobe. They redefined what software should feel like. This is Startup Wealth Files, where founders don't play by the rules, they change the game. See you in the next one.